So what did you want to talk about today? Okay, well, Leslie, we've been talking about doing this, but in the hypothetical for a number of years, haven't we?
I guess so, because we've met at middle school, and then we meet at the festival, and we're like, shouldn't we do this? Shouldn't we do it?
And in Park Slope, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I wasn't avoiding you, I guess is the main thing I want to be clear about.
I appreciate that. And now I have a connection because I'm on the screening committee for the New York Film Festival, which it's been nice. I've seen a lot of really great short films, and weeding out hopefully some that are not quite as great. We
get a lot of short film submissions, so it's a lot of wonderful films. So that's a great category.
Yeah, well, it's one of only two that right? We're technically, I guess, that you take experimentals and shorts, I think, right?
Submissions, yeah.
Submissions,
yeah.
Yeah, like through Without a Box. So I'm only mentioning this because a lot of filmmakers also do listen to this podcast, so then they know. So I'm like one person watching 100 shorts, and there's a bunch of other people. So I'm just like you say, there's a lot of shorts being submitted. I don't know what the number is, but I'm not going to put you on the spot. But that's a lot. All right. Well, the reason I really did prompt us this time, and succeeded, fortunately, is that the Film Society of Lincoln Center changed their name to Film at Lincoln Center. And one can hazard to guess why there would be such a name change. Well, I guess if I have you right here. So I don't botch it again, you're the executive director.
Yes, I'm the executive director of Film at Lincoln Center.
Okay. Oh, you use that new title so smoothly. Did you have all new business cards printed?
Everything is new. Everything is all printed new. So but not that it's taken me a few weeks to say it as smoothly as that, because I definitely still stutter every once in a while with the name. But,
right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was, the name change was just a decision to try to rebrand ourselves a little bit on the occasion of the 50th anniversary, and we just thought this was a good opportunity to relaunch our brand and really think about what our role is here in the city. And Film at Lincoln Center speaks a lot more to who we are and where we are than Film Society does. And I think in some ways it just allows us to be a little bit more inclusive and more accessible. And, certainly we're endeavoring over the summer to have a very robust slate of programs and events to provide people an opportunity to come in and see all the different things we do here, the Summer of Film at Lincoln Center. And for us, it's an opportunity to open up our doors and get as wide an audience as possible for the things that we do. Mm-hmm. We had our gala in April, which usually we have this Chaplin Gala every year, which is our largest fundraising event. And we've done it and honored everyone from Fred Astaire, Charlie Chaplin, to Susan Sarandon and Robert De Niro and Helen Mirren, who was our last awardee. Mm-hmm. But this year we wanted to sort of focus on ourselves a bit. And the festival, the New York Film Festival, is really how we're known, what our highest profile event.
Well, it's been around longer than the Film Society of Lincoln Center. It's been around longer as an institution.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, like it's going on 58.
This will be the 57th New York Film Festival, and that's exactly right. The story of our origin is really around how a festival birthed this organization, but it's really about the fact that we've been at Lincoln Center, and Lincoln Center itself, in the origins of the arts complex, it was one of their board members who thought that film should be considered as an art form amongst the other arts here at Lincoln Center. And they produced and really supported the first several New York film festivals, and eventually decided that actually there should be another organization to support it. And that was a financial thing too, because they were doing it in a deficit environment, and I think wanted other people to take some responsibility for it a little bit too.
Oh, in other words, so we're starting this and we're going to hire people to run it, but then with that comes the responsibility of making it at least not unprofitable.
Well, I think when you have the construct of a not-for-profit organization around an event, then you can start to organize around it and fundraise around it and create momentum around it. film at Lincoln Center as an organization didn't come to its, didn't really start until 1969. When there was still no Walter Reed Theater, there was no Eleanor Bunin Monroe Film Center. It wasn't like it was the introduction of year-round programming. It was really just a creation of an organization to support the festival. Eventually, as we built the Walter Reed in the early 90s, and then, of course, built the Eleanor Bunin Monroe Film Center in 2011, that's when the organization itself was able to have this real presence in New York City and this year-round programming.
I guess they had the New York Film Festival at Alice Tully Hall. They would just have it there?
The New York Film Festival was first done at Philharmonic Hall, which is now Geffen Hall, was Avery Fisher Hall for a long time,
right.
And then at Alice Tully Hall. So it was really done in both of those venues for many, many years.
So we're now calling it Film at Lincoln Center, officially. That had to be in the works for a long time. I mean, when was this decision made?
Well,
Takes a lot.
We've been working for months and months on the rebranding and changing it over, and so it's not something that was done overnight. But, I think what we decided to do was use the gala, which was a very large platform, as an opportunity to launch the new name and the new brand. We didn't want to miss an opportunity also to have such a high-profile event with all of our sort of quote-unquote old branding and old name on it when we're going to be changing the name shortly after. So strategically, we were trying to take advantage of the gala being a very popular event and one where we'd get a lot of attention. Even though we're open all year long, even though we have many, many different series and festivals, it's still the New York Film Festival, our Chaplin Gala, new directors, new films. These are sort of these three events that, people know by name.
Right. Sort of the touchstones or the tent poles or whatever.
Yeah, so we're a small not-for-profit in a lot of ways. We sort of are in a lot of ways bigger than other theater film entities in the city, but in our own way, we're actually quite small, and certainly in proportion to other organizations here on campus. We're also half the size and budget of Sundance Institute, as an example. But we're very crafty, and we have to be very careful with these opportunities. And so for us, the gala being one of our signature events, we really can't afford to miss that opportunity.
Sure, right. You're going to have everyone's ears more than almost any other occasion, right? And how many people roughly work for for Film at Lincoln Center?
We have around 52 full-time employees and like 25 or so part-time employees
Seasonals
that work.
And what have you?
Who work in our theaters, our ushers and our box office people. We do have seasonal employees who work with us, for example, just on the New York Film Festival. But unlike a lot of other big festivals, our festival is run, 95% of it is done by our full-time staff.
And so, since it's part of a rebranding, do you need a tissue?
No, I'm just looking for my coffee.
Oh, your coffee.
But go ahead.
That's right. I gave you plenty of slack there to walk around entire office. In fact,
I feel it's a little Johnny Carson-ish, a little like I have a long lead.
Like one of the stand-ups who have the long cable.
Those old school stand-ups.
Yeah, I know. We'll take a little break there for caffeinating and.
I don't know if Johnny Carson had whiskey or coffee in his coffee cup.
There's always that.
The Tonight Show. But,
I think they perpetuated that. I doubt you had to be sharp. I mean,
I love Johnny
Ed
Carson.
McMahon, on the other hand. Did you? Because just on a nostalgic level, or because?
No, I grew up watching Johnny Carson. I really enjoy.
Sure.
I remember enjoying watching his show at night. I don't remember watching a lot of his
shows
a kid, like, all the way through.
That was late.
I grew up watching him. I mean, I went to one of his last tape shows in L.A., actually. I still have my ticket from the show.
Is that right?
Yeah, I lived in L.A. in the 90s, and there was I don't remember what the year is now that he retired, but...
90... I'm going to say 92?
Yeah, but Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine just was able to get tickets, so we went to one of his last shows that he did, and it was really thrilling and exciting to see it. And
I bet.
yeah, I always had a fondness for Johnny Carson because I thought he was actually very funny, very genuinely funny. Like in his interactions with people, he seemed to really connect with people also. But he wasn't a person I remember watching like a show to the very end. You know, like I remember watching a lot of the first 20 minutes of the Johnny Carson show.
A lot of those talk shows tend to peter out anyway.
Yeah.
Don't they? Often?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I'm the same way. And I always felt like watching when I was really young, like it was almost like verboten because it was after my bedtime, you know. So I was going to ask you actually, because since you guys have, you know, worked on rebranding, how does that apply to any other areas, or is it all one concept? That obviously you referred to maybe or touched on trying to reach a broader population of people that maybe think of a film society being for real deep film fanatics and people that really only know like art house and foreign films. But of course, if you look through everything that the film at Lincoln Center does, it's far more than that.
Part of it for us is just awareness, you know, just people knowing that we exist.
Right.
Literally,
I guess that's step number one. That's true.
Yeah. And I think you'd be surprised at how many people who live in this area, live in this neighborhood, don't even know we're here.
Really?
We have a lot more people who are cinephiles, of course, who know us, and they're looking for certain kinds of films. They come to see us. But, you know, in the area, in the neighborhood, who knows that we're here, who knows that there's a theater here. We don't have a traditional marquee, you know, like a movie theater does. But look, the truth is most people now connect to a location of a film via an app or some kind of digital interface, and it's looking at something based on their location. And, you know, it's not like the Walter Reed Theater won't pop up and populate their feed. It's a question of what are those things that we're offering people. And as you said, we have really actually a wide variety of films that we offer people and series. And of course, we have new releases. So you could walk in there now and watch the Bob Dylan documentary, Rolling Thunder Review. But we also have the Olney retrospective. There's also the Human Rights Watch Film Festival happening. Over the summer, we're going to have double features of 50th Mixtape, which is a series that Dennis has put together, you know, looking at sort of old masters and new masters, so to speak, and pairing folks up. We have screenings at Governor's Island that are also available
this summer. Or when is it?
This summer, we just had a screening of School of Rock last Friday at Governor's Island, and in July we're doing After Hours, that little Marty Scorsese film.
Don't know it.
Eternal Sunshine is going to be shown in August.
Is this on Governor's Island?
On Governor's Island, yeah. Look at Governor's Island. They're free.
They're outside?
Outside at Governor's Island.
And just
you
showing
take
the
the
film
ferry
under
out.
the stars.
That's exactly right.
Or a New York
beautiful
City
background.
star. It's hard to see.
Yeah, so I think, you know, cinephiles know who we are and they know where we are. People are attracted to different series that we do based on their own likes or dislikes. We obviously, what we are trying to do is make sure that everyone, as many people as we can get their ears on it, can hear and listen and know about all the different things that we do. We're doing a talk next week for our Queer Here and Now and Then part of Pride 50
month.
And I just think there are different ways that people can touch us, and whether it's through film comment or through a free outdoor screening or through our Olney retrospective or Open Roads or Human Rights Watch or any of those things, it's really creating that awareness that they should come and check us out. We're part of a very, very close, connected community of other not-for-profit film organizations in New York, whether it's BAM or the Museum of Modern Art or Film Forum or MoMI. You know, we're all working together and trying very hard to raise each other up. We don't really consider ourselves in competition with each other. Film going is still a very geographic pursuit.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I live in Brooklyn. I know you do as well. And my house is actually about 10 blocks from BAM. I'm a proud member of BAM. My partner and I very often go to the movies at BAM.
I was going to ask you that next. Don't jump ahead.
Well, it's just, I'm saying is,
yes.
You know, it's natural. Well, everyone is going to go to the movie houses that are near them to see those new movies or new releases or wonderful series and events that go on locally. When we do events and series and festivals, we get people from all over the city. We recognize that. We want that from people from outside the city. But new releases might be that area where if we have an exclusive, people are coming, and if we don't, people will go to see it maybe at Film Forum, or they'll see it BAM, or they'll come to us, depending on where they live.
Right.
So we're not pretending that we don't know that people in New York, you know,
yes, I understand.
They gravitate to those things that are also close to them.
Right. It's not like you leave certain other institutions out of your vocabulary.
Yeah,
I understand.
We're also just, we have to help and support each other because we're all in the same medium. We're all, you know, working under the same, you know, I don't know, pressures maybe of the workplace, the industry, but also trying to work within a not-for-profit environment. It's very different.
Yeah, and of course, if everybody bands together, the accomplishment is a larger film-oriented culture here in New York City, I guess. Film-going culture, right?
Yeah,
getting out of the house, getting away from the screen, the smaller screens, anyway, to get out and really enjoy. And like those other theaters you were mentioning, you bring an endless stream of filmmakers and journalists, programmers, everybody. By the way, you know, another great thing about this institution is you do tend to attract some of the best programmers, which is a nice thing. So they'll get some of the best films too.
Yeah, I think, well, this is, you know, when we talk amongst ourselves, you know, all of these other organizations, and we were actually I was just on a panel this weekend at BAM Cinema Fest.
Oh, I know.
And
Gina Duncan was just on the show too.
Yeah.
Because she changed her name.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I adore Gina, and I think she's done sort of extraordinary things for BAM and really transformed the BAM cinema program there without question. And the topic of this particular panel that I was on with Gina, with someone from MoMA, someone from Film Forum, you know, where we're really talking about the question which is posed to us is how do we get people to come to the theaters, basically, like, you know, what is the drive? We all have these different relationships with streaming services, Netflix or Amazon or, you know, HBO for that matter, you know, however you want to define streaming and broadcasting, etc. We are asked a lot, like, what's your relationship with them? What do you think? You know, how do you know, a company like Netflix, which is underwriting the work of filmmakers that we would traditionally work with, of course we have a relationship with them because Marty Scorsese is doing films.
The Irishman is a Netflix.
You know,
film.
everyone is doing films with them. And just like we have relationships with Paramount and Fox Searchlight and Sony Picture Classics and anyone else who's making films and promoting them. The difference between us and traditional movie houses is curation. That's what Gina and her team bring. It's what Raj and his team brings. It's what Karen and her team brings at Film Forum. That's what we bring. Like, we have people who have gone through 500 films that are defined as scary movies, and we've chosen these 20. These are our 20 scary movies that fit within the context of what that programmer has created for themselves and their point of view and ideas about what they want for that particular program. But it's curated, it's chosen, you know, and I think that's why all of these kinds of festivals end up doing very well from year to year. Rendezvous with French Cinema, every year we get sort of this extraordinary audience. Why? Well, we've gone through all those movies, you know.
Yeah.
Dennis and Florence have gone through hundreds of the best French films or French films for last year. Forget about the best. hundreds of French films from any given year. And they've gone and they've chosen these, 20, 25, whatever films and said, these are the ones that we think represent like the best of French cinema this year. It comes like that every year. I mean, that's how it works. I'm thinking of someone like Mahen Bonetti, who does the African Film Festival. We just did her 26th annual festival. She's choosing films by, for, and about Africa. So she has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I don't even know how she does it every year. But,
she's not doing it alone.
Well, I don't know. You have to ask Mahen. I think
she just comes with her
she shows
arsenal.
Up and everything is here.
Wow.
And Mahen is one of those people who actually does work a lot on her own and doesn't have a big organization behind her. And but that's why we want to and have supported her in her work. The thing that we have here at Film at Lincoln Center, it's the same as BAM and Film Forum and at MoMA. We have this thing of great value, which is space. So in New York City, if you have a theater, you have 2 theaters, 3 theaters, an amphitheater, you're in pretty good shape. You can afford to be strategic. You can be careful about what you need for yourself as an organization, what you need to do to present the material that you feel is true to your mission, and make sure that you're creating amazing experiences for audiences of every kind. And at the same time, you're able to provide a space for people that just need a space to show their City College, BFA program has their end-of-year screenings here in our amphitheater. SUNY Purchase does. So does SVA. There are different places that we work with also to provide an opportunity for people to just have their films screened here and for other people to experience it. That is easier for us to do with people that we feel we have a close alignment with or we have a relationship with somehow. We want students from City College to come into our theater and have their film screened, and because we want them to come back and watch a movie and go to the movies here and feel like they're part of film and film culture. And to us, our big goal is to try to make sure that people think of us as a center of film culture. That's speaks to our mission and trying to create that community around that.
Visit filmlink.org and subscribe. Get on their newsletter. I've been on the newsletter for I don't know however long, years and years and years.
Yeah,
so I
please.
kept on top of all of that.
Yeah. It doesn't cost anything to get on our newsletter and find out about things, and we're a member organization. Right. If you could become a member, that's great.
And there's different tiers,
a lot.
so there's you get
Several.
different benefits for different tiers, and like any big organization.
Like any, and we're not for profit, so we rely on membership and other ways that we can get contributions and working with sponsors and all of that, like any other organization like that in New York and around the country. And if you could become a member or subscribe to Film Comment Magazine, but just come by. We have free talks, we have free events, so we really want people to check it out.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming on and doing the show.
All right. I don't know, do I keep talking?